How low can you go?
I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal. And this is not just about progressive Democrats. This is across the board, the entire party.
It's much, much better not to be in the middle of a shutdown, which to divert people from the number one issue we have against these bastards. Sorry.
Voters' views of Democrats in Congress, the lowest ever approval ratings on record.
Chuck Schumer just said that he's going to vote for cloture. Not only the Democrats can do it, but he's going to participate in it. Does that mean that you think he's a weak Senate leader?
In which I could personally hear what sounded like Senator Kirsten Gillibrand screaming at her colleagues.
And screaming, and they're going to take on Donald Trump, and they're pounding their fists. And then they just folded. Again.
Holy smokes, guys. This is horrible for the Democrats. I never anticipated it getting this bad, if I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all, because their poll numbers, if you couldn't tell by the title, thumbnail, the intro of this video, are horrendous. They are so freaking bad. According to Quinnipiac, this is the lowest Democratic approval rating for Congress in history. And it's not just according to Quinnipiac. There's other polls as well that I'll put into this video so you can see those as well. But the Democrats are getting cooked because not only did Chuck Schumer fold, not only did he flip-flop pollywop, did he lily pad hop like a frog, hop around like a rabbit on what he was going to do. You're also talking about the party that doesn't really stand for anything good these days. What do they stand for? The Open Borders Party, the anti-religious, the anti-American flag party, the pro-terrorism party, the pro-Hamas party, the pro-let's not deport the terrorist likely person party. Let's get the men in women's sports because that's the only way that everything is right in this world party, the anti-Trump party. That's not enough, guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and react to Harry Enton of CNN blowing a freaking gasket off of this horrendous Democratic approval rating.
You know, I'm a big fan of the oldies, and when it comes to the feelings that Americans, voters at large, and Democrats have, I can't help but think of Chubby Checker. Why is that? Because the question is, how low can you go? Voters' views of Democrats in Congress, the lowest ever approval ratings on record per Quinnipiac University. Look at this. Approve 21% among all voters. Look at the disapprove level. Holy Toledo, 68% of all voters disapprove of how Democrats are doing in Congress. Now, you might think that is low, and this is the lowest number on your screen here down at 21%. But I want to bring you over here to how Democratic voters feel, because this is truly unbelievable. Amongst their own party, how do Democratic representatives, senators, how are they viewed? Get this, the plurality disapprove at 49%. More Democrats disapprove of the job that their party is doing in Congress than approve. Get this, only 40% approve. These are truly horrific numbers. They are in the trash bin of history. That is how low these approval ratings are. When you can't even get plurality approval among your own party, you know you're doing something wrong in the eyes of the American public, Jessica.
They are in the trash bin of history. Yikes.
Oh, snap. That is horrible. Like when even your own dang people don't approve of you. Now, the obvious reason why this occurred, or part of the reason why this occurred, besides some of the other stuff I mentioned earlier, to go a little bit deeper into the whole government shutdown and Chuck Schumer stuff, is because the Democrats wanted more of a fight against the Republicans in regard to their spending bill. Basically, they want the Democrats to oppose Trump more. Like, believe it or not, the Democrats, a lot of them are okay with just opposing Trump. Now, as far as passing their own bills and their own agenda, I mean, I guess who knows that maybe this is their agenda, oppose Trump at this point. And that's one of the main reasons why these numbers are so low. As a matter of fact, this has led to rumors that AOC is going to primary Chuck Schumer. They asked Jasmine Crockett about this. They asked Hakeem Jeffries about it. They even asked AOC herself. Take a look at what they had to say about it.
You're close with Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York. Some of your fellow House Democrats say, and not just progressives, by the way, we've heard that moderates have said this too, that they're ready to support her to challenge Chuck Schumer in a Democratic primary. Would you get behind that?
I definitely think that younger, fresher leadership may be something that many of us, not just depending on what part of the spectrum you're on, but many Americans may be looking for, especially in the state of New York.
Is it time for new leadership in the Senate?
Next question.
Have you lost confidence in him, the fact that you guys see this so differently?
Next question.
Mr. Leader, why were you afraid to say anything about Schumer when you were asked?
No, not characterize.
No, my question was, why were you afraid to say anything?
Not characterize my remarks. I'm not afraid about anything.
But you went to another question.
Anything.
Chuck Schumer just said that he's going to vote for cloture. Not only the Democrats can do it, but he's going to participate in it. Does that mean that you think he's a weak Senate leader?
I think that would be a mistake. But we have time between now and tomorrow, and I hope that individuals that are considering that reconsider it. I genuinely do. I don't think it's what New Yorkers want. I don't think it's what the country wants. This is genuinely not about Democrats or Republicans. This is about deep cuts to Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. This is about the evisceration of the federal government. This is about codifying the looting that is happening at the behest of Elon Musk in order to pay for his tax breaks for billionaires. And we have a responsibility to stand up for it. That is why people elected us, and that is our responsibility to them right now. I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal. And this is not just about progressive Democrats. This is across the board, the entire party. There are members of Congress who have won Trump-held districts in some of the most difficult territory in the United States, who walked the plank and took innumerable risks in order to defend the American people, in order to defend Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, just to see Senate Democrats even consider acquiescing to Elon Musk. I think it is a huge slap in the face, and I think that there's a wide sense of betrayal if things proceed as currently planned.
Guys, this is one of the reasons why a lot of the Democrats don't step out of line. Look how crazy they've gotten about this. Like, they are losing their mind. AOC's out here talking about she's feeling betrayed. You got Van Jones over here crying.
Van, how angry are Democrats at Leader Schumer?
I've never seen this level of volcanic anger at a Democrat ever.
Ever.
Wow. I mean, we could be grumpy, we can be frustrated with each other. There is a volcanic eruption of outrage at Leader Schumer. There's an emotional need to stop Donald Trump and Elon Musk from running over this party, and I think Chuck Schumer has radically misread the room.
This is why their poll numbers are so low. They had an actual CNN poll. So originally it was Quinnipiac, which Harry Enton was talking about, but CNN had their own poll, and NBC did as well, and their poll numbers are dropped below the freaking center of the earth.
A brand new exclusive CNN poll that paints a brutal reality for Democrats as they struggle to mount a unified opposition to President Trump. Americans' favorable views of the Democratic Party's brand are at a record low, just 29%. That's compared to 36% for Republicans. It is the lowest ever recorded for Democrats in CNN polling, going back more than 30 years. As you can see, the party's numbers dropping a staggering 20 points in just 4 years. The CNN SRSR's poll also found 57% of Democrats and Democratic-leaning voters are more interested in seeing their party leaders stop the GOP agenda, compared to 42% who are more interested in cutting bipartisan deals. It is a big shift from where the party stood at the start of Trump's first term in 2017. Now, this survey was taken before this week's tumultuous battle over funding the government, which resulted in one of the ugliest intra-party Democratic disputes in years, and left many in the party lobbying furious attacks at Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer, who ultimately reversed course and let a GOP bill funding the government become law in order to avert a shutdown. Now a bitter round of finger-pointing is taking shape after Democrats failed to get a single concession from the GOP, despite having their first piece of leverage to fight back against Trump. Now the big question, where does a party in deepening turmoil and in open warfare go from here.
While feelings toward the Democratic Party are at an historic low, 55% view the party negatively, and there's a divide among Democrats. On Friday, 9 Democrats, led by Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Independent Angus King, who caucuses with them, voted with Republicans to advance a short-term spending bill to keep the government open.
What leverage do we have? Democrats keep showing up at every night fight with a casserole.
Well, I do think that it's not out of the question to primary somebody if they're too far out of line with the agenda. The fact of the matter is, Chuck Schumer, in my opinion, I mean, you guys tell me if you think something different, but in my opinion, I think Chuck Schumer is probably just being smarter than the average Democrat. Sure, these approval numbers look terrible right now because obviously the Democrats did inevitably go along with the Trump agenda here to prevent a government shutdown. However, it is a huge gamble to shut the government down and give Donald Trump this talking point that, hey, the Democrats shut down the economy. Veterans aren't getting paid. Like we're not able to keep the government functioning, and it's the Democrats' fault. Even though, obviously, as president, they could point fingers at him. The Democrats have been known obstructionists. Their whole agenda at this point is disrupt Trump. So obviously, if the government is shut down, the impression is going to be, oh, the Democrats are up to the same old stuff they've been up to, which is being disruptors rather than accomplishing anything. Their goal is to always just stop everything that the GOP is trying to do rather than actually accomplish anything. They have 4 years to accomplish stuff. The only thing they managed to accomplish is causing rampant inflation and opening the border up and embarrassing us with that insane, ridiculously humiliating Afghanistan withdrawal. So they really didn't accomplish anything. Pete Buttigieg was supposed to hook up a bunch of electric vehicle stations and he didn't hook up a damn thing. So the Democrats can get power, but they don't know what the hell to do with it once they get it. The only thing that they know how to do is be obstructionists and holler and scream and lose elections and unless they cheat and get horrendous poll numbers, because that's what they're doing. If they were doing things that were good and people agreed with them, why wouldn't their numbers be higher? This is a monster that they created. They created so much radicalization in people's minds. Now when you got people actually trying to probably save the party, which in my opinion Chuck Schumer is actually trying to do, they're crucifying him and they're going to kick him out of the party. Like, I hate to break it to the Democrats, but they don't really have a whole lot of people to be kicking out. Now, I'm not saying that Chuck Schumer is a good Democrat to have because he's a radical too. However, in my opinion, when you lose elections, you need all the help you could get. And based off what I've seen, the Democrats are kind of striking out in terms of new people that they're picking.
The other thing that's embarrassing is the underrepresentation of minorities in our country, especially in our government. It's disgusting. We don't have proportional representation of minority groups in our country. We don't have women, not nearly enough women of color. We don't have a diversity of thought as a result.
Sorry, that doesn't work with me. Yeah, you're stupid because you're not thinking about the bigger picture.
So I don't really see them picking somebody. What are they going to do? Pick the next AOC? Because AOC, I do think maybe a little bit more popular with the newer generation, but she's certainly not an intelligent strategist. So I don't really see her or someone like her really doing good for the party. You need people who are thinking and coming up with different ideas, not people coming in who just agree with everything that you're saying. That's the reason why the Democrats are getting cooked right now. That's the reason why their approval rating is so low, because the only people who they're going to have left in the party soon is a bunch of crazy radicals out here destroying Teslas and putting swastikas on Jewish Tesla drivers' cars. These people are crazy. I'm going to wrap up here with Scott Jennings giving a little bit of praise to Chuck Schumer for doing the right thing here.
First of all, I just want to say I'm grateful for Chuck Schumer today. He helped defeat a racist Jim Crow filibuster in the Senate. And to stand up against the racist Jim Crow filibuster tactics was a moment of pure courage. And I just think he should be lauded by anybody in any party for that. That's number one. Number two.
It's a deep cut. Let me just explain for people at home.
I'm just saying.
When there was a Democratic push against the filibuster, people in the Democratic Party were saying it was a racist era, Jim Crow era
and it was
tactic, the filibuster. So he's being cheeky.
And not only that, but he saved us from the Democrats in the House, laying off every single veteran in the federal government. Chuck Schumer, working with Donald Trump, save us from that. So I think he deserves a lot of credit this morning.
Scott,
every veteran would have been laid off. Every veteran would have been laid off.
Guys, what do you think? You think shutdown aversion is good for the Democrats, or do you think that Schumer screwed up and that shutting the government down would have somehow been better for the Democrats because it would have made Trump look bad? I mean, I don't know. I feel like things making Trump look bad and intent to make Trump look bad did backfire horrifically on the Democrats over the last 4 years. But guys, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching The Black Anomaly. Rising Jewel. I'm out.
Look, man, we're screwed. I mean, we don't know. No, Democrats don't know what to do. Defending a broken status quo that nobody likes because they thought that Donald Trump was going to make it worse. But when you're defending the status quo, you're going to lose. And then offending most people in the country, calling everybody sexist and racist and transphobic and every other name, and then saying, please follow us. That's not a good strategy, folks. Defending a broken status quo and offending most of the country turns out is not as popular as my party thought it was going to be.